The thing.
I blame Plum for that. He forced it. I mean, when the guy builds you a computer and he doesn't charge you anything, you really can't make a fucking, especially when my PC was dying before he came in. It saved me. Anyways, all right, we are live. Boom. Share this out here.
I mean, I look half asleep on your stream, yeah.
Same here, man. Look, like I got beat up.
What time is it where you are now? About
5 p.m.
Oh, is it? Oh, now about
5.
So you are aware it's late then? I just thought with that. With
No.
in the shower, man. Do you have to blow dry your beard?
No. Full disclosure. Earlier I jumped in with I don't know if you've seen that guy on Twitter called Rolo. He's the one that had the stream snipe list that he was joking about.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, we just jumped in and got a 16-man squad going, all running jack purifiers and riot shields. Yeah, it was comical.
In pubs?
In pubs, and we ran across a couple other streamers to get reactions from. It's kind of funny. They come into a room, right? Just a random room, and they're randomly looting to get a buyback. And there's 16 people with riot shields in that room and jack purifiers.
Being a couple of people doing stuff like that, I just think that that's content, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
like imagine you're in a tournament, 2v2 kill race, and you come across that.
Oh, we were talking about that. Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if we come across like Mutex or somebody and they were in a content? Like, yep, good game, good fights, man.
You wouldn't know it was him anyway because he's shadow banned on his main account.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And on one of his ults.
It's funny, man. It's funny. I was thinking maybe like 3 years ago he would be impervious to a shadow ban, and then he said some mean shit to the devs, and he's not part of the Cool Kids Club anymore.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of them out there that'll never get shadow bans, but there's there's a couple you wouldn't expect getting shadow bans, but then you trace it back to, are they part of that Cool Kids Club? And it's like, nah, man.
I haven't been shadow banned. I've never been shadow banned.
Oh, not yet.
No, I've had a couple of accounts perma banned, but never shadowed.
I've never had the misfortune of experiencing that. Yeah, what's up, bro? What's up, Swamp Things? Vin, Chef, what's up?
Thinks he's whitelisted, man.
I'll be honest with you, I did have to reach out. That was a long, lengthy process because I had my account stolen. Like, I got on one day, right? I played a few games, got shadow banned. I was like, I wasn't even playing that good. And then I looked at my stats, and somebody had dropped a 62 kill game on Al Mazrah. And I was like, huh. Right, something's up. And I kept getting that thing where I'd be playing and my account would get signed out. So I was like, oh, yeah. I think somebody had hacked my Discord because I had shared my login information with one of my mods who gets on and plays on my account, so I don't have to level the guns up.
Yeah, either that or your mod sold it for a very good price.
He's too dumb for that. No, I'm just playing. No, Warhawk wouldn't do that. Warhawk's just a Call of Duty addict. He likes playing on mine because he's got an Understellar done on his already. Let's see here. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Appreciate. Hey, Sharky, let's go with the 12. Let's go, baby. Sorry, I don't have the alerts on or anything like that right now. Once we get into the thick of things, I don't want anything to interrupt. Gonna have some serious conversations here. Super serial. But anyways, I did like your video that you put out, was it 2 days ago? About Activision and when it come to the shadow bans and attacking Activision. Like, what if they, like, let me ask you, like, if you knew you were getting advantage that somebody else wasn't, and you kind of knew what was going on, whether you had absolute proof of that or not, why would you say anything? I wouldn't say anything.
Well,
like, if I knew I got extra aim assist,
it comes down to integrity, doesn't it? Because if you think about it this way, whilst there was a long period of time where creators were denying whitelist even existed, you had people like Tyson TV, and I know you're not a big fan of his, but Tyson TV.
I'm a fan of his work.
Okay, so
I think he's a
Tyson TV. Yeah, so he come out and, like, as a big creator on Facebook and YouTube, he come out and spoke about the fact he was whitelisted, showing proof via emails about his account being on an anti-ban list. This was all the while while like sort of your modern Warzones, your J-Gods, your Z-Laners, Mutexes, Swags, and all them, Tim the Tapman, all denied the fact that a whitelist existed. So it shows integrity. And I think that if you're the one speaking out about it when everybody else is keeping their mouth closed, it definitely makes people look at the other guys and think, why aren't they talking about it as well?
Do you think maybe there could be an NDA in place, the reason they didn't talk about it, or?
Well, you'd think so, but if that was the case, then Tizen TV would have had to sign the same thing unless something else is going on with their whitelist. Maybe it's a different whitelist. Maybe there's more levels to it, and it's just it's a big conspiracy, isn't it? Like, and it can continue as a conspiracy, even though we now know it exists based on Activision saying it. Like, we can talk about what other possibilities are there surrounding a whitelist, what benefits these streamers could be getting, and that's what really I was, touching on in my recent video, saying it's Activision's fault. I really want to go down that path and talk about that, but like every time I do, and I make that start, people like Nico come out and admit to cheating accidentally live on stream, or FaceWag gets spectated by Grandpa Hacks and has some blatant moments of wall hacks. So, I always end up reverting back to the basic stuff, the stuff that I've been doing from the beginning.
Yeah, it almost seems like in some situations it's like a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, and if you take that approach to it, it's not hard to see why Whack doesn't talk about his past at all. Seems like
nobody really talks about it though, do they? Unless like there's a heated moment and something really kicks off, no one brings it up. The only person I've seen bring up Magnificent's past in the last couple of years, other than like the Hacker Hunter community, is Iceman Isaac.
Yeah, I was going to say Iceman. Yeah. But you noticed after, like, when that started picking up traction, all of a sudden he zipped it. He was like, all right, like somebody told him to stop talking.
He's got people on the phone, Symphony on the phone, Z-Lane destroyed, because the day that Magnificent got permabanned, in the run-up games to that moment, he was playing with Destroy, Symphony, and Z-Lane in a quads game. Like, for multiple quads games all that day. And
now, do you think it's people are afraid that they don't know their friend's situation, but they don't want to be caught up in a guilty by association kind of thing? Or do you think it's that they do know something and they don't want that to come back onto them? They're like, hey man, if you can get away with it, as long as you don't get caught and you can help us get dubs, like, I'm all for it, but just keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, maybe. There's a number of different options, really. I think one of them is that they're all sort of, close-knit. They speak with each other. Oh, what cheats are you using? Oh, I'm using these ones. I haven't been banned for 12
it's the way it
months.
is in the VPN community.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
exactly.
You notice a lot of people don't play together. They play together for the same fact that they all use the same VPN and they all use the same configs. And, I mean, and like, it's that way in the cheat scene, too.
If you look at the whole build-up to the situation with Magnificent and even the aftermath, right, the people he was playing with, and then after he got banned, the only person to really talk about it, like, verbally, was Symphony, and that's because Wag literally spoke to Sim about it, like, straight
it's the first person he called, though, which is kind of like, if I was Sim, I'm like, why did you call me, you dickhead, live on stream? Like, you know what you made me look like?
And then, like, the fact that Z-Lane and Destroy didn't even bring it up, they didn't mention it, they just literally let it ride out and do whatever happened. And then, even when people were trying to defend him, like Teep and Sim and what's that guy who does the COD casting? What's his name now? The bald fella, I can't remember his name.
Not Maverick. Fuck. Maven.
You know what I mean?
Maven, right?
Yeah, so Maven as well. Like, all these guys came to his rescue. They were like, oh, it's all false, blah, 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 right? So, but even at that time, Destroy and Z-Lane kept their mouth shut. And even later down the line, a couple of weeks had passed, and he's going, I'm going to expose the whole thing. So I'm thinking maybe that whole thing he's looking to expose is, in fact, not Activision themselves in the whitelist, but the people on the whitelist and how they're protected.
You think that was his like warning to all of his friends, like, hey, you guys have contacts that I don't have that you need to use to get me back in the game, or I'm just going to flush us all.
I just imagine back then, like he got threw under the bus by everyone. I would love to know what he was going to expose. That's always been in the back of my mind, like Magnificent's holding on to information that is worth something to him, to the point where even after still getting accused by the Hack Hunter community and a lot of the Call of Duty community, he doesn't bring it up, he doesn't mention it, because he's still being invited to events. So why is he still allowed to event?
Oh, I mean, he
Why
qualified
aren't
for
these other
the
creators like
World
moaning
Series of
about it?
Warzone, but I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you qualified, and then what happened when he was there? He got shit on.
Yeah, and I get it. When you get tossed from the cool kids club for, not being controllable, saying something negative, whatever, it generally, those people stop playing with them,
Yeah.
I mean, let's take what's the one that beat his wife up? Real feminine looking dude.
Free gaming.
Free gaming. Yeah, free gaming. He was rubbing shoulders with all of them. Same with Torva, right? He was rubbing shoulders with all of them. And then what happened? Then Torva had some cheats pop up on screen, and even though he did a good job of wiping that from the pages of history, I still don't see him playing with anybody notable. Same with free gaming. There's a lot of people like that, mid to high tier streamers that had some instances that,
So with free
gets them
gaming as
kicked out
well,
of
that ties back to Z-Laner again, because free gaming was playing. Was in a Discord server, his own Discord server, by the way, with a couple of people. And in the list of people that was in there, Cryptix was one of them, who's a Facebook streamer.
I
Right?
remember the whole Cryptix thing.
And
when he killed
Cryptix was a
Doc and
part
Tim, and
of
then
Saucy, which
yeah.
Z-Laner was a member of, right?
Mhm.
And when he killed Doc called it out.
I remember that. I made a video on that when he was like, this guy's definitely cheating, and he's like, who is it? And then when they told him who it was, Z-Laner was like, no, I'm pretty sure that guy's on the level. Like, without
didn't
even
look
seeing
at the clip. Yeah,
didn't even look at the clip. Like, oh no, that guy's definitely not cheating.
So that again is a favorite example of how these streamers will defend each other blindly without a care in the world. Like, imagine like a situation like that where Z-Laner just jumps to it like, no, he's not cheating. But then imagine like on his stream, he's accidentally let his wall hack slip up, or his aimbot field of view.
Like Divinity just had happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's sad. Like, you didn't even get caught cheating. You got caught spectating somebody, and they saw your cheats. Like,
whilst you were twerking on your chair.
I wonder if he saw that and then thought like, oh, I have to say something to get their memory off of. Anybody want to see my tits? Like what?
Yeah, maybe, but like, yeah, maybe. The thing is, though, if he's paying attention to his main monitor where them cheats are, is he really going to notice on OBS where he's accidentally clicked the wrong thing off? I don't know, man. Maybe a good distraction, though. I'm going to twerk. Do you want to see me tits? I had to double check if it was a boy or a girl, man. I didn't have
Yeah, same thing. I was like, wait a minute, is this post-op? What's going on here? Is this post or pre-op?
I recorded the whole video, and then at the end,
Cletus and me came out like, what in tarnation is that shit? That belly's too soft to be a man.
And then I saw the picture with this big, massive Adam's apple. I was like, yeah, that's a boy. That's a man.
Mm-hmm.
I checked the bio for pronouns and that's when I saw 4 times multi FPS land champion. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and my thing about that is like I bet you anybody that's ever been, to land at a high level, like if you gave them cheats, you probably wouldn't know. Like they're already a good player. Like the J Skills guy, the one that you made that guy, which
he's still on land as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like with that, like you could tell, like from natural game skill level to like, artificially inflated. That gap, that skill gap that he's trying to bridge is going to be entirely too much. It's the more you're trying to bridge that, that skill gap, the further that skill gap away, the more apparent it's going to be to the average viewer. Now, if you took, let's say Scump, because I don't even want to hear an argument in regards. Scump's the most legit Call of Duty godfather. He's literally Michael Jordan of Call of Duty. Let's just put it that way, right?
I thought that was going to go a completely different way. Then maybe we were about to have an.
No. He's literally Michael Jordan. He's literally but Crim 6 is also the Scottie Pippen. So there's an argument to be had about how important he is to the success of Michael Jordan. But we're not going to go down that route and show any kind of favoritism. but if you were to give Scump some cheats, right? It's wall, soft aimbot, whatever. Just walls. Or just a 2D radar. Are you going to be able to see the difference in his gameplay to be like instantly like that guy just started cheating? That guy's cheating. No, you're not. You're not going to see that tiny little skill gap that he's bridging by using a 2D radar. Because I'll be honest with you, whatever he sees in the 2D radar, like for instance, when Brawless was 1v1ing J Skills, right? Brawless was alive and J Skills was dead, but J Skills was spectating everything through his POV, which he still had his wall hacks on. And he was literally 5 and 6 seconds late making calls that Brawless was already making actions towards, because that's natural game sense versus somebody that's not very good and using artificial, skill inflation. Whereas I don't think you would notice that on anybody. Even WAG, for that matter, when they go to the land, you don't notice anything really that different from the mechanics of their aim to their
It's more to do with the map
rotations.
awareness than that's noticeable, isn't it? Like, especially with WAG. Like, even speaking of that, then, right, land with the difference, Joe. Right, Joe tried to rinse me on social media recently, talking about my gameplay. Like, I purposely put that clip up because I should have died. It was awful, and I didn't understand how I survived. The two guys pushing me, I had a bounty on me. I'm running towards a zipline to try and zip out of there so I can get to a buy station and buy my mate back if he didn't make it out the gulag. I'm getting shot in the back. I hide behind a little small rock. What am I meant to do?
Well, to be fair, you could have put up an exact replica of their gameplay with the real Bad Boy Beeman account, and they would have called you a cheater. So
yeah, I mean, listen, I've done something recently similar where I put something up of Symphony's gameplay, but wasn't his gameplay.
Yeah.
I used a Rage hacker and put his webcam on it, right? People like COD in 4K, this lad obviously was on the time of the month. Didn't really appreciate the sentiment behind it, but this is something I was doing on my old Twitter account before it got banned, by the way. Sus or not, and what I was doing on some of the clips, I was overlaying like a Zelena webcam on a hacker, and people were defending it. And I've done the same with Symphony, and like so many people defended it.
Yeah, I get it. That's a double-edged sword, though. You open yourself up to the criticism, but you also open.
There he goes again, splicing clips.
It's like you're giving some people some information, but you're also giving the people that didn't really want that information fuel for the fire.
What I'm saying is, like, if I was to go and find a clip of Joe, right, and put my webcam over this, and somehow be able to edit, I wouldn't be able to do that, by the way, but maybe one of my editors could, where the names in the bottom corner, get them edited so it says Real Bad Boy Beaming and all that, and then post it. And I can guarantee all the fanboys of all these streamers will slag me off. Might even bait in a couple of the streamers as well, and then I'd be like, oh, hang on.
You should do that and cover out the account name and just be like, I'm not showing you guys the account name so you can get this account banned too. I'm onto your games or something.
Yeah. I mean, I could do that.
That naturally would make me think that you're cheating. I'd be like, wait a minute, he's covering up his account name because he doesn't want to get it banned. He's doing something nefarious.
Yeah, and I just start locking onto trees and grass and sky. Apparently, I run around with me crosshair on the floor and stuff. But what I'm saying is, like, you're right. I could put up like a 10 kill game or just like a clip running into a building, rinsing like 4 or 5 squads, and people would still be like, "You're a bot." -1 KD player. Like, they just have that opinion straight away, and they're all just absolute like 2 IQ people who literally suck the absolute semen out of the favorite streamers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're dealing with on Twitter right now. I mean, not really dealing with it. It just keeps coming across my timeline, and I can't help myself. But the Zerly kid, 100% caught you into cheat discords, asking how your cheats work, asking for help setting them up, got you in your Discord, selling the cheats, at least promoting at the very least the cheats, multiple different, cheats, admission to using them. And, and this is 100% proof. There's no manipulation. There's no anything. The problem is you put that out there and there are still people that'll, I literally I had to share it. I was like, there's no hope for this younger generation. The guy's like, just because he had cheats on there doesn't mean that he had them enabled. It's the same thing. Go back to the Flexify, like, bruh, why did you cheat? He's like, man, I did it for the diamond camos. I didn't know how to turn the wall hacks off. Like
the excuses, man. Do you know what?
I like to say the people that believe and buy into that, I don't really get too upset.
As well.
Yeah, they got to be cheating as well. And any extra money these little kids have, they're so naive. They can't have more than $30 extra in expendable income. They're probably spending on cheats. And, I mean, like any sane person looks at that and they're like, But then
that takes me back to if you remember when Rara scanned Headband's fucking PC and found
he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Battle log. He found battle log code cheats, right? And then Headband come out like, oh yeah, well, obviously that was for testing purposes because like Bad Boy Beeman does. You know, he tests the cheats, so I had to test the cheats. That's how I knew all these streamers were cheating, right? Now, taking that into consideration now, at this time in our lives, where we know what we know, where Headband's retracted every statement he's ever made.
Is he still
And
making
also,
content?
I don't know, mate. I haven't. That's the first time I've even like thought about him for,
I almost
for
forgot
2 years.
about that guy.
But prior to him actually being exposed for having them cheats, he stated in his videos that he was basing his analysis on these streamers off his natural game skill, and he didn't need to test cheats. It was only when Rara found the cheats on his or through his Gmail.
Yeah, but you and I both had that screenshot from him way back in the day when he was clout chasing. He like added 20 people at Jake Lucky at Modern Warzone. I've tested over 20 cheat providers and and then deleted it, you know, and it's like, you put it on the internet, it's there to stay, buddy. You can delete it if you want. We got it, you know. And I remember conversations with you, like, I'm not gonna play, like, let's just let this one, let's give the man the opportunity to come clean himself and let people know that he's no better than the other people that came, like me and you, that came across our knowledge the way we've come across it, the only way that's gonna make you credible, you know. And we know you know what you're talking about, Headband, to some extent. But you need to be honest about it, you know.
At the start, though, man, I felt like his whole build-up into the scene was like...
he literally was
on all of my tweets, like, yo, I'm going to be doing a video about this soon, you know, my take, an unbiased take, and it was to do with the beef between me and Rara.
Oh, of course, like, yeah, honestly, if I ever wanted to know what your dick tastes like, Headband would probably be the first person I'd ask. I mean, it was,
exactly.
Yeah, to me, it sounded like he was trying to be like the NA Bad Boy Beeman, just a little bit more beta and
everything
a little bit cheaper.
A little bit more. What do you mean a little bit more, mate? Like, let's get serious now. I'm the only alpha in this scene.
My mod, Plum, thank you. Actually, real quick, guys, I have a special gift. Okay, so not to switch gears here, but actually got to. If you guys don't know the dichotomy between me and Mr. Beeman here, I had gotten sick and tired, like many other people that ended up trying cheats at, during Warzone 1 of people cheating. Long story short, I convinced my buddies to go back and stream COD with me because nobody wanted to, and we got 6 out of 7 times killed. I went and got a 3-day EO trial. On the 3rd day, my buddies convinced me to stream it. I was streaming it, and after, I think it was the first or second game, somebody's like, we got to see what you see. Turn the walls on. I was being 100% open and honest because I planned on deleting the game, which I did after that stream, and the walls got turned on. Here's my question to Beeman. Did somebody send that clip to you, and then, or did you get the clip yourself? Because if somebody sent that to you, they selectively only sent you the part that would make for a good narrative, for a good video, and thank God they didn't send you the ones with the walls up, because I don't think everything would have played out the way it did, honestly. So, and honestly, I didn't think it would go this far. I'll be honest with you.
Listen. Right, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Somebody probably did send it to me. I couldn't tell you who, and even if I knew, I wouldn't say who anyway, because.
Oh, tell me! I need to set up a fucking Christmas card.
Yeah. So basically, I will have been sent like a stream link and a timestamp. Go and check this out. I've checked it out. Obviously, like, let's be honest. Even if you had wall hacks on show, that wouldn't have made the difference because you were literally rage hacking with the aimbot. Like, there was no denying it.
I'm so like, if you got it, why not use it? Like, who the fuck about this soft cheat shit? It's like God giving you double D's and you wearing a fucking sweatshirt around all the time. Let them bad boys out. Let them work for you. So what
I decided to do with it, like, I noticed. I'll be honest, right, and I'll say this as is. When I first watched that, like, when I was analysing it, I enjoyed it. Right, and do you know why I enjoyed watching it? Is because of the way you were talking about it. You were talking about how you were acting like a pro Warzone player.
Yeah, it's been the most narcissistic version of a fucking
yeah. So over exaggerated an over exaggerated Warzone pro player. So I thought, I see what he's doing here.
It took me a while before I started breaking character, though. It was about a week solid of that cocksucker, and then I started breaking character for people that would actually come in and ask me, like triple-digit IQ questions and stuff like that required like a pretty detailed answer. And I was like, okay, now we're going somewhere. All right. Why don't they just ban me off the internet? That's a good question.
I used it as an example for the masses who didn't understand cheats. So it was a prime example for me of what full aimbot could look like. And it was so blatant. Like first kill, I was like, yes, he's full rage hacking. But I'm gonna get the whole clip. I'm gonna break it down like I normally would about if somebody's fine tune the cheat. I'll break it down like I normally would, and that's what I did. And I had so many comments saying that's just aim assist. And I'm
Really?
thinking, the guys on keyboard and mouse at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, I played keyboard and mouse.
Rightly. So I'm like, he's on keyboard and mouse. So I'm saying like, and they're like, no, it's natural flicks with a mouse. Like, you're obviously a controller player.
It's a DPI switch. Yeah, I would take those comments, by the way, and I'd use them. I'd be like, no. See, I know you're a controller player. I got a DPI switch in my mouse, which it does. It's like adjusting the sensitivity on the fly. So I know it looks like a snap. That's just me holding down the button. People are like, you're so full of shit. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, you believe what you want to believe.
You could go back to that. You could go back to that video. Check the comments, right? Go from oldest first, if that's a possible thing to do. And you could literally like make a video. I wouldn't anyway, because obviously people at the time were naive about cheats. They didn't really understand how advanced they were. So using that against them and as a personal attack might be harsh. So maybe like blank out the names, but you could really make something of it and be like, this is what people thought when I was playing like this, and that could be a good video for you. And I'll happily let you use my content.
I don't ask. I ask for forgiveness if I need to. It's a lot easier that way. But more to your point, I had a fellow streamer buddy of mine, Dirty Mogson, super nice guy. I don't even know if he's still creating content. I hope he is. But he literally was like, I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't think you were cheating. He's like, I honestly thought you were one of the best Call of Duty players I ever seen. And I thought one of the reasons you weren't getting the looks that you were getting and you were getting the hate that you were getting was because you were conservative and the world's full of a bunch of beta cucks. And I was like, damn, how should you run with that narrative? Would have been more profitable, But anyways, the whole point that I brought that up is I definitely wouldn't be where I am without you doing the due diligence and making the video. And I told Brawless this recently. I said, it's not about your reaction. It's about your response, which is why I like, creators like, what are we doing here?
I was just trying to get my dick favor in your mouth.
Okay, all right, yeah. But anyway, so long story short, I made a nice little thank you video, try to help out the hacker hunter scene, and namely you. So let me let that play real quick for the
oh shit,
I don't know if you're watching. Are you watching my stream?
Hacking! It's the fucking cheater!
Oh mate, I'm literally crying on the laughter.
That was actually that was partially the idea of my Plum Smuggler. He was like, oh my god, it'd be fucking hilarious if you did with the Arms of the Angel song in the background, and we just started. I put that together last night. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh,
a little Brawless there at the end. I figured you'd like that. That was fun. You're making good content whenever it's like hard to record content because you're laughing so much, or you're just like whenever I do some of my characters, I'm just like, I have to shake my head and I'm like, you're so dumb. You're absolutely dumb. Yeah, we were cracking up making that the other night. I'm glad.
That was fucking hilarious.
I'm glad you liked it.
Just for the record, everyone, there will not be any half-naked photos of me being sold or one online. Thank you.
Yeah, that's under a different name.
I'm on the phone to my lawyer as we speak.
Yeah, Bad Boy Seaman on OnlyFans.
Arscock.hh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious. I didn't know what to expect though. That's the thing. Like, I didn't know what was coming, and then all of a sudden I saw the picture of me with
in the
arms
of an angel. Hi, I'm Sarah McLachlan. I was famous for 15 minutes.
Who's this Darren in your chat saying, I'd like Triple B if he didn't do what he does? Listen, mate. I don't care if you like me or not. Listen, I do it for the truth to be exposed, and I do it for the guys like yourself who do support some of these streamers, and unfortunately, may have donated to one of them and might find out in the future that they're hacking. So I'm trying to save you your hard-earned money. But Darren, listen, I don't care how you feel towards me. I'm doing this for you.
Well, at least somebody's doing it. I gave up on that dream a long time ago. I just point and laugh and make fun of people at this point.
I do that as well.
Damn, I got the game running. I didn't even know I had the game running. Let me get that off there.
Wall hacks exposed.
All right, imagine a little fucking ACD logo popped up, a little menu popped up or something. Yeah, right. They wouldn't sell to me. Trust me.
I'd be like,
Trust me, they wouldn't sell to me. I'd have to have a fake credit card, fake name, fake. They probably already know. They're better at catching people, preventing people from using their software that's not allowed to use their software than fucking Activision and Ricochet is.
You know how bad it's got for me now, though, man. Like, so I went into someone's stream the other day. One of my friends, I don't know if you know Corrosive, he told me, he said there.
Yeah, I was homie. We played a lot of Apex together, man. Dude's a goat.
Yeah. So he said to me, he sent me a link, said, go in there and say knock knock. So I thought nothing of it. Went in, knock knock. The whole chat erupted. I couldn't even tell you the name of this. Yeah, let me find it now. The whole chat erupted anyway. And I wasn't sure why, but basically this guy had hit like some crazy shot. And said, oh, Bad Boy Beeman's going to be coming. And then someone commented saying, watch out, Bad Boy Beeman's going to come and knocking. And then Corrosive's for right quick.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
So I've gone
like
in.
You've been there the whole time, fucking dog.
Yeah. But I didn't know what was going on. So I said, knock, knock. Everyone's like sort of erupted. Like, oh my God, Beeman's actually, is that the real Bad Boy Beeman and all this?
Corrosive's a legend.
But yeah, it was fun. But the guy, what's his name now? His name was The Broken Machine. Right?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of him either. Like, but I watched his gameplay. I watched the whole game while I was in the stream. And do you know what? He was decent. 15 kills, 16 kills he got. But he won the game. He missed a load of shots. He hit some shots. He was sniping most of the game, but he didn't look like he was cheating. And so I'm in there chatting with him, how's the stream going and all this. And he's like, oh, you sure you want to be in this stream, man? Like, you're in the wrong place. There's nothing here for you. I was just having a bit of fun, just here to enjoy the stream, that's all. So I can't go into anyone's stream anymore and like be like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I know most people. I mean, there are some people that I go on their stream and they're like, hop and do a video on me. And I'm just like, I like you. Why would I do a video on you? Like, I don't think you're cheating.
People have this misunderstanding, don't they? Where they see that there's a massive boost in people talking about the streamers that we mention in videos. Which does happen, but
I mean, I had that conversation with the Gerber baby, J-Rock. You know, at least I tried to have the conversation. It's really hard to have a conversation with somebody's fucking IQs about the size
who even
of their
is J-Rock? Like how did he even become even in the slightest bit relevant?
I don't know. I think he sucked somebody off.
One video he put out a while back, like one of his first videos he put out, and he was like calling for wall hacks. And
my thing is, he says that, you know, like he talks about the harm that hacker hunters have done. I'm like, objectively speaking, do you honestly think Naughty is, let's just go straight to the bank account, because at the end of the day, you know, that's what it is. Personally, I'm of the school of thought, if you're good at something, don't do that shit for free. You know, but at the end of the day, her bank account, which probably, if you ask her off the record, matters most to her. If you're making that kind of money, it probably should. Did you negatively or positively influence that number there?
I mean, it's been proven anyway. With the podcast between, I forgot the guy's name from Optic now, but Z-Lane had done a podcast with him anyway, and he got asked about it, and he said like that he made a lot of money off being accused because his videos in response to me were his most viewed videos on YouTube, so he couldn't even deny the fact that I made him money. Here's the problem: I'm not out to cause these people to earn more money. In fact, I'm not out to lose them their ad revenue or get them banned off YouTube or Twitch or whatever. The problem I've got is them lying to their community where they get donations, right? That's the problem, because they're innocent in all of this. I'm an innocent in all of this as well, until I started becoming a hacker hunter. The issue is that type of boost happens to these streamers until they get caught, right? Once they get caught, spirals down. And what happened when Nadia decided to go to a LAN event? Everything was going so well. She went to COD Next, dropped a 0.27 KD, and completely and utterly exposed their natural ability.
Do you think she was given the opportunity to redo everything from the start? So we'll go all the way back to the clip of her talking about, you want my Cronus settings or my controller settings? All the way back to that point, she had to do it over again. Do you think she did anything different or not?
No, because
I wouldn't have.
right now I think she's still earning quite a lot of money just from doing in real life streams, pimping her girlfriend out on stream and stuff like that, whatever it is you want to call it. But that's essentially what she's doing, right? I'm not sure whether her girlfriend gets any cut of her ad revenue, but she's always there. She's the one a lot of the viewers are there to see, because out of the two of them, she's the only one with a little bit of looks about her. Because Nadia looks like Lord Farquaad on a bad day.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, she's earning a lot of money, man.
Banana hands.
Oh my God, the size of them. That picture I found of her, she had the fingers like Slender Man.
Yeah.
Creepy, mate, creepy.
Very creepy. I don't know. I don't trust women that can palm a basketball.
She could palm two, mate. She could juggle them in one hand.
Let me ask you this.
Like
what do you say about
nutsack.
people that want to attack your credibility and be like, once a cheater, always a cheater?
So, I agree to an extent. Once you've been a cheater, you're always a cheater, right? If you cheated behind your partner's back in a marriage, right, you will always be a cheater because you cheated. And it shows that through your own integrity and your own decision making that you will make that call to go and do something outside of the rules. So it's more of a person, like the person's mentality. So I think, for example, people are only sorry for cheating when they get caught. Yeah, you don't hear of somebody like, say, for example, Zelena just cheating all of a sudden starts dropping like between.
I didn't
5
feel
and 10
sorry when I
million.
got caught, because I didn't feel like I got caught because I was doing it to be like, hey, everybody, look at this shit. But with the stars aligning and my mod being like, hey, YouTube or what was it? Was Facebook? Just put that memo out literally early in the day about, hey, if you're gonna do this, we can, like take your channel down. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not gonna play the game anymore. Let's just take that down. And if I need to make content with it later, I will. I wasn't into the content creation to the extent that I am now, but like I've told you many times, I'm like, who is this guy? Okay, so he calls people out for cheating. What do they say? They're all saying the same thing. They're sorry and they're going to take some time off. And what? You're telling me nobody's told this big-eared Scouser to go fuck himself? Watch this shit. What's the worst that can happen? They ban me off the fucking internet? Watch this shit. And spoiler alert, if they can put ads on it, you ain't going nowhere, buddy.
Well, what I will say then is this. Do you think you had a big part to play in the the turning point of my content where streamers started to deny it?
What do you mean?
But you were blatantly cheating, and you come up with this whole, no, I'm not cheating. Do you think you had a big part to play in that? Like, because I'm just like,
I would say
it was Zelena, mate. It was the whole situation with the clip manipulation, accusation against me that really paved the way for other people to lie. Well, here's the thing
with that situation. To fit their narrative, they're gonna move the goalposts. You know what I mean? What is a big streamer? Well, Nitro Luke got caught, and he had how many hundreds of thousands of followers?
Well, at the time, I think he had over 1 million on Facebook, to be honest.
So is he not a big streamer?
Yeah, he's a very large streamer. He's got over 1 million on YouTube. He had over 1 million on Facebook. And
problem is, if you had said zero big streamers cheat, and then a big streamer gets caught, you, by way of public opinion, would be forced to respond to that. Now what, Beeman? What about zero streamers cheat? But what about Joe? They don't just move the goalposts. They selectively attack the argument for their benefit. They don't, like, for that, he's not going to answer that. Do you honestly think if I went in there and donated $1,000, he'd answer that question?
Listen, and I've already said
not
in a
directly,
video
he wouldn't.
that Nitro Luke DX got caught not by me, not by Happer, but by Ricochet. He had players disappearing on his screen. So this is somebody I've classed as a friend. Somebody who, every time I've had a clip sent to me, I've gone to him and I've asked him, and he's given a good explanation as to what it was or what it is or what's happening. And an explanation to which I've gone, right, okay, that makes complete sense. But this situation, players disappearing, that's Ricochet. You can't deny that. So I gone and spoke to him. I was like, I want to interview you. And I put it up on my channel where I interviewed him, and he said, look, I've got a Cronus. I didn't know that was going to happen. And he literally just whipped the Cronus out on the interview. But at that point, I'm like, well, he's just admitted to having a cheating device. And it makes complete sense, because They just said that like all these features in Ricochet anti-cheat were going to be for external devices like Cronus. I'm like, okay, so that makes sense. Then I'm getting grilled by Modern Warzone, Joe Woe, Jake Lucky, and all these other guys, right? Because of Nitro's actions, right? Bad Boy Beeman's not credible. His friend Nitro Luke DX has been caught cheating, right? Okay, sound, that's fine. That did happen. Now hold that same energy, Modern Warzone, when you defended Magnificent after his permaban. Hold that same energy, Modern Warzone, when you defended 5x5X after her permaban. Hold that same energy, Modern Warzone. When you
Yeah,
defended
it's
Rara
part of the
after his
playbook.
permaban.
Part of the playbook is just to ignore the things that don't benefit you and attack the arguments that do.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, like, so people was assuming that I did that, but this is the difference. I was getting comments like, "Why are you being so harsh on all these streamers like Joe Woe and Z-Lana, but you're not even talking about Nitro Luke DX?"
Yeah.
And let me name someone else here. So one of the people who really doesn't believe that, or one of the people who truly believes that I've tried to defend Nitro Luke is Dre840, somebody who I used to get along with. I haven't
Okay,
had
yeah, I
any
know who
like
that
bumps
is.
or heads or anything, but he's expressed his opinion about it. So
Yeah.
I will say this. I called him out on the fact that he'd been caught by Ricochet. I said, let's record a video. I want to put it out on my channel because, listen, I want to be the one to explain to my community why my friend was caught cheating.
Now,
And
let
that's
me ask you:
exactly what
is
I
it
did.
different? Is it different because you're like this is a person you know in real life and considered it, whether you do now or not at the time, a friend? Did you approach it differently?
The reason I started hacker hunting was because of a friend of mine cheating. So it doesn't make a difference. It kind of like didn't sit right with me. I felt hard done by. I felt like I'd been,
Put between a
I'd had
rock
the,
and a
I'd
hard
had, I
place?
felt nah.
No.
I felt like Nitro took the piss out of me. That was my instant thought, like this cheeky bastard. But then I remembered the reason I've been able to go to him all along with clips and footage and stuff is because he's willing to look at it and give a full explanation to the point where at one time he had like this little circle popping up on his screen
Yeah, I
that sort of
remember it was for the
fluttered, yeah.
one
It was a
input on two
one mouse
device.
for
Yeah,
multiple devices, yeah. So
yeah,
and he said, give me 10 minutes and I'll send you a video explaining and showing exactly what that is. Like, this is the level he would go to prove his legitimacy. And I'd been to his house, or not his house. Well, I had been to his house, but that's not where his setup was. His setup was in like the Overworld studio where like that's one of his companies. So
yeah.
he said, I searched the whole room. I literally went there, checked under his desk for foot pedals, checked for the Cronus, checked for external devices, went through his fucking task manager, went through all the program files on his PC, went through everything, checked for external like USB drives. But obviously, if that is the case, they can easily be hidden in another room. But
Yeah.
like a Cronus device, I feel like he got it recent and ended up getting banned. But like at the end of the day, once a cheat, always a cheat. Has Nitro Luke been playing Call of Duty really? Every now and then. He's got other things going on in life now where, he doesn't really need to be live streaming every day. So he's
Yeah.
taken his, he's been shut down by Ricochet and he's taken that as okay, fair
Yeah.
enough, time to move on.
Yeah.
Why is everyone hanging it over my head because Nitro Luke decided to buy a cheating device? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he chose to cheat, that's on him. I've got my own problems, like, and Nitro Luke ain't one of them.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
And just for the record as well, I still speak to him, still class him as a friend, just so that is clear.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, like, I get it. There's money involved, and that's a scummy thing for Luke to do or whatever. But at the end of the day, it is a video game, and I mean, I don't believe like the whole once a cheater, always a cheater thing. Like, I get that all the time, and I'm just like, you don't fucking see me out there trying to get invited to the World Series at Warzone, do you? You know what I mean?
The difference, isn't it?
And
So
here's my thing. What about people like Call of Shame? Like at least with you and myself and we others like us, we put a face behind the credibility and say, yeah, we did do this, and that's how we feel like we know what the fuck we're talking about when it comes to the how this is working and why this is working. And I mean, that's where I sit with it,
Oh, again, going back to the headband scenario, how did Headband have his information when he claimed that he didn't use the cheats?
Like, I don't give a fuck who
because
you accuse. I mean, that at the end of the day, that's your right. It's freedom of speech. You can accuse people all the fuck you want, but
But then
You
the
know,
whole Supergirl channel popping up and how they were blatantly cheating.
no, I think that's a good idea. I have no problem with that at all.
What, the Supergirl account?
No, I just don't have a problem with the content creator having a non-monetized channel where they're spectating people's wall hacks and then monetizing the content on their monetized channel by reviewing it within the bounds of TOS and
I never looked
fair
at it like
use.
that. That's kind of clever. But the thing is,
Yeah,
they
but
never
you need
come
a
out
second
and spoke.
PC to do that with, which I don't have for at
They-
least another week and a
I
half.
don't know. I don't even want to talk about them, to be honest. Like,
Nah.
it's
Ghost of 8 wants to know why Beeman blocked COD in 4K.
I found out that he was sucking on your little nipple, your little teat, on the golf course and stuff. And I thought, "Ugh, what a beta male. Can't be having people like that on my timeline. Keep the true alphas there, like yourself."
Well, there you go. All right, moving on. Speaking of how Ricochet and stuff can manipulate, because we've recently seen, I believe, the detection of ACD and EO again, because we have seen a lot of people that over the last Christmas break, or was it 26, 27, whatever it happened to J-Skills, the splat technique was implemented across the board.
I saw
there
that
was
happening,
a lot of people it was happening to that were cheating.
Well, have you noticed, though, that every time they incorporate these new features, all the old ones disappear?
Well, I may be honest. I caught it like when I recorded it, I didn't catch it. But after I recorded it and put the video together, I'm like, he had fucking disappearing players as well as his legs breaking, because in one kill the guy disappeared, but it was kind of hard to tell with all the visual shit and But
oh no. So like the two features at the moment are disappearing players, as well as
the
as well as
splat.
the splat,
Yeah.
right? But before that, there was like no bullet reg, and then
the damage nerf, and then
yeah. So there was
and then they were taking
features.
their guns away. They were taking their
Yeah,
guns
taking
away.
the guns away as well.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Like, I've seen people on like these are people who I don't believe have cheated, but like I might have to look into them again. I saw people on Twitter complaining about dying to an invisible player. Like this dying to an invisible player, like at an Activision and Call of Duty on Twitter. And
Yeah, I shared a clip. Somebody was like that, like, why is this guy invisible? And it's like, why'd you say anything? I don't know. Some people are, honestly, the way I feel like Ricochet is set up right now is it works to an extent, but it's only catching dumbasses that are, like doing dumb shit, using cheap, commercially available cheats and stuff like that. It's not stopping me if I want to go spend, $800 a month or, $400 to $800 a month, to be part of a private dev, to be part of a private share. Those are never going to get caught, I mean,
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, the biggest surprise for me in 2023, and I don't know, it may be for you as well, is that Phantom Overlay got detected. Like, I never thought that was going to happen. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about Ziebler, but from their perspective, they did a phenomenal job.
They had a good run. They had a good run, mate. They really did. Yeah. But listen, a lot of like with Engine and they realised how bad things were going for them, so they started trolling online. I didn't really see much about Phantom Overlay, but when things start getting popular, more people start using that service, and getting reported in game, and that may be where Ricochet's picking up detections of tracer files and things like that.
Well, what blows me away? There's people that literally see this happening to a cheater, but then they can't put it through their head like, hey, by the way, when it comes to legit players and the whole, theories that are going around, which I personally don't think they're theories. I think there's pretty enough evidence to call it fact that they're manipulating gunfights. Not only just gunfights, they're manipulating it from the start with the matchmaking to, I mean, we just had Thursday, we had Trid, the guy, I don't know if you know Trid TV. He did a video, a deep dive on the patents recently, got a lot of traction. And he uncovered where, yes, part of the matchmaking, part of the algorithm is microtransactions. Like, there's literally a microtransaction engine that takes into account how much money you've spent based off, or micro, whatever that metric be, that locks it in with skill, that locks it in with playtime to find you the proper match. And it's all dynamic too, because I mean, you see how close most of these games are.
Well, I remember the first person I saw having problems with, Activision manipulating their gameplay was Hacking Fredwood on Facebook. He was somebody they used as an
Yeah.
example where his bullets weren't registering properly on enemies, and this was on Rebirth Island, Verdansk days. So he was having major problems back then. And as soon as I saw that, my first video after that, I couldn't tell you the title of it now, but my first video after that was, hang on, so Activision can pick and choose who can cause more or less damage, right? Therefore, they can pick and choose anyone in the game. And then further down the line in Caldera, we had the situation with Grandpa Hacks and J Device, where Grandpa Hacks was literally shitting on everyone in the lobby using cheats. And then the second he shot at J Device, couldn't cause any damage to him. But then after that, was able to still kill other people in the lobby. So they were picking and choosing who to defend against cheaters in that lobby as well.
Yeah, which was wild, and the proof's right there on the wall. But just whether a lot of people will sit there and see it and they'll completely deny that's what's going on.
For me was a big turning point in me believing that there was definitely more to the whitelist.
And I think a lot of it's intertwined not only with that, I think that's part of it, but I also think a lot of this, what people are referring to as skill-based matchmaking, engagement optimized matchmaking, I think all that, whatever system that is also tied to the shadow ban system. I think it's based off of, how much you spend on the account, how old the account is, the playtime on the account, and it determines the threshold for the shadow ban. And I honestly think it's a timeout, and they let other people that have, these metrics that equate to a value, which gives their report a value. And it's like, well, hey, you accrued X amount of value and report value because you've been shitting on kids that are our biggest whales in the game. Versus
they actually come out when Warzone 2 was dropping and they first started talking about Ricochet anti-cheat. They come out and spoke about how it was going to be like sort of AI learning in the background, and they also said about the different categories that you can be in as a player. Trusted category, not trusted category, or severely not. I can't remember the names of them, but just as an example, severely not trusted, right? And those categories as well, I think, determine whether or not your report in game against another player is going to be taken serious by them. Also, I believe that if you're in that category, a report against you will be taken with a little bit more leniency. But on top of that, I also believe those categories on Ricochet anti-cheats, category tier list, can be manipulated by you buying things from the store or playing a certain way or playing with certain people and so on.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's anything other than user-generated reports? Do you think that the shadow ban system incorporates anything other than the user reports?
Yes, I do. I think user reports can be a big part of it. I do. I think a lot of people get reported in game, but I don't think that just in-game reports is what's causing the shadow bans. You have to remember, and you know this full well, that rage hackers can get shadow banned, and all they've got to do is not play on that account for 7 to 14 days.
We had Hansi, he came in here and we had him on one stream, and back when they were doing the super slide, so he was using that along with 100% headshot aimbot to rage hack and try to get reported, and it took him 4.5-5 hours, but finally got his account shadow banned. And then a week later he came back on the stream, that account was out of the shadow ban, and he was able to play on it again. So that proved two things to me: that it's largely in part based off of user reports, and the other part it proved to me is there's no fucking review taking place at all. It says your account's under review, your account's not.
No. They don't review the footage of the gameplay that was reported.
They could review the footage or this guy's stats, and you would have to say that he's cheating. I mean, I don't think he had a game where he didn't drop 50 kills.
They could do a manual review where they go out of the way and check the actual stats of the account and so on and blah blah blah.
I think for the large part it's automated though, right?
But the way it works, this is, as far as I'm aware, I've not been behind the scenes at Activision to know, but once you are reported and in a shadow ban, you are still able to go and play the game in solos. Remember in Verdansk or on Modern Warfare 2019, if you were shadow banned, you could still play the game, but you'd be in against people with Japanese, Chinese names, and they'd be rage hacking the tits off. In that moment, in that 7 to 14 day period, is where they review your gameplay. That is when your gameplay is being reviewed. So if you get shadow banned today and don't play on the account for the 7 to 14 days, they have nothing to review, causing you to have the shadow ban lifted, unless back in 2020 when they were detecting tracer files on accounts when the first engine owning ban wave hit. That was down to tracer files being detected linked to the cheats themselves, and
Well, that's
that's
the
where
crazy
Wagner
part,
got caught.
because you can probably attest to this. I surely can. Your shit got permanently banned in Warzone 1 if you were fucking cheating. Eventually, your shit would get banned. There's no shadow ban. Your shit got banned. And you would literally go on your spreadsheet and be like, delete that line there and move on to the next one. You know?
I wasn't quite like that. I mean, obviously, the reason I had accounts that were used for cheating was because I was testing them. So, like, if one got banned, I would then have to create another one. But I would only create another one if a new cheat provider come out or new features to a cheat provider came out. So that was it. I didn't have like 15, 20 or 100
When
accounts.
I was with Golden Gun, I had an app where I pressed a button and it was like, and it was like there. It's a Gmail and a Battle.net, or it would literally spit you out an email, a Battle.net, and an Activision account right there. Go plug them in. That was the heydays of the Rage Hagen. And I think honestly, I mean, I want to say Ricochet is doing more than a lot of us are letting on, but I still haven't seen anything past what it started with Caldera, with newer accounts being limited to the 10 kill disconnect and things of that nature. It doesn't seem like
you gotta look at it from the outside perspective. No matter what side you're on, what was Caldera like? It was full of cheaters still. Verdansk was full of cheaters.
I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. The first couple of weeks of this Warzone versus the worst part of Caldera.
That's not what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is, even with all the features they were incorporating into Ricochet anti-cheat in Caldera, there were still cheaters. But this was the first period of time where they'd brought out an anti-cheat and people were nervous. So people weren't really rage hacking. People weren't really cheating too much. That's my thoughts on that. But now we're still getting the same treatment from Ricochet. Only people are like, well, actually, my account from Caldera isn't banned still, so I'm going to rage hack now.
Well, that, and they had a severe data leak about 7 to 8 months ago, and there's a lot of accounts that are got, scraped and stolen, and people, it's very easy for them to go on an aged account, which bypasses a lot of the issue of, only getting a few games in if you are a rage hacker. I mean, personally, I think right now, and I may only be saying this because I'm not using anything right now, but I honestly, and I haven't for a long time, but I honestly think right now it's just one fucking notch below what it was on Verdansk Worst Day.
I think really fucking bad right now. The only reason
it may be worse
like
because I just don't see it because I'm not on the inside anymore. But
think of this though. It's terrible. I started playing with crossplay on because one of my friends on Xbox, so I started playing with crossplay on. And it's like every game. But what I'm saying is this. Think about the player counts back in Verdansk and then compare it to the player count now. I think percentage-wise, player versus cheater now is worse and higher than it was in Verdansk. And I don't think there's as many cheat providers now either. There was so many resellers back in Verdansk.
No, there's a lot of different providers, but there's only a couple different loaders. There's maybe less than 20 loaders now.
Yeah,
so
this is what I'm saying.
You got people like ACD, and they've done the whole reseller, route. Anybody can have their own branded loader if they, spend more than $500. And you could invent your own cheat provider, set your own Discord up tomorrow, and start selling keys.
I have people approach me, and I've always been open and honest with everyone. I have people approach me to make my own and resell them, right? And I was like, no, it's not happening.
Approached me to fucking promote their shit.
Yeah. So I had that as well, and this gave me a very difficult situation because so I'm not going to name them for obvious reasons, but a VPN provider reached out to me. The day before they reached out to me, I'd recorded a video and I had it scheduled to go up on this day. I woke up in the morning, as always, check my emails, what companies want to sponsor me, what brand deals have I got, all that, right? And top of the list was this VPN company. So I'm thinking, what the hell is this? So I'm thinking, a VPN company, it could be, I can't remember what the name of the thing was on the email, but it was like, protect your IP address with our VPN, right? So I click on it and all that. I'm reading through the email and it was like, towards the end, it was like, listen, we'll pay you $5,000 up front and $5,000 once the video is posted. We don't want you to talk. Point there. They said, we don't want you to talk in a positive light and promote us in that way. just do one of your normal videos that you normally would, exposing a cheat provider or a VPN provider, and we will pay you after it. And I thought, cheeky fucking bastards. So I
They pay you
deleted my
after, huh?
scheduled post. Nah, I deleted, yeah. No, they offered $5,000 before, $5,000 after. So I was thinking, do I take that $5,000 and just not put the video up? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Nothing. So, but then I thought, I'm not having any transaction go into my bank account, PayPal account, or any sort of payment from a cheap provider or VPN provider at that time. Now, these guys,
like, you know, then on the flip side, that could have just been somebody baiting you, that they get a confirmation, like, see, he was going to take money from a tape provider, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thought that goes through my mind when I get any sort of sponsorship deal, by the way. I go and do some vetting. I don't click any links that have been sent via email. I will go and manually type them in and, you know, just shit like that. But it's hard, man. But hey, listen, I went back through my emails. It was only a couple of months ago. I went back through them to see how much money I'd turned down from stupid like sponsorship deals, not just like related to cheats or like VPN providers or anything like that, but like just overall like brands that I didn't feel like met the criteria of my channel, or brands I didn't believe in.
God,
it's
man,
like
I talk too much shit to turn down anything.
£500,000, over £500,000 I've rejected. That's about $700,000 over the course of 3 years that I've rejected.
That's not 1 second,
people
man.
People tell me I've got no integrity. People say that, you know, I'm only in it for the money.
I mean, for a scouser, you got a lot. But Sharky, appreciate the 12. Merk with the 20. Thank you, sir. I got, let's see, it's not, I hate Stream Elements. I'm so done with this piece of shit. Somebody gifted 5, and it's not telling me who now.
They had like a unicorn picture as the thing, I think.
Dakota, appreciate that. Chai Chiz, Xenia. Yeah, it tells you what it wants you to, it did never. I'll refresh here.
Dark Norris.
I don't have the alerts up because I want to.
Dark Norris, big shout out for the 5
Yeah,
gifted.
there it is. Shark Norris. There it is. There you go. You can do that for me. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Shark. Let's go, baby. Welcome to the Alpha Squad, everybody.
Some of the content you produce takes away your integrity, Triple B, says Tommy R. So, Tommy, I would like to hear a little bit more about this. What type of my content do you feel takes away integrity from me? Am I like, you know, limited to one specific type of content, or is there certain videos or certain creators you believe don't cheat, who I think might be cheating? Let me know your thoughts on that. Come on, I'd love to hear that, of what you think is, you know, breaking my integrity. And this is by no means an attack either. I honestly want to hear your thought process behind that comment. It's getting a bit late now, so I'm not going to be on much longer, Happy.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this then, and this back to what causes people to think people are cheating. Do you think now in Verdansk when they added, you know, what is now extremely overpowered rotational aim assist? Do you think the discrepancy between a controller player and a mouse and keyboard player is what caused a lot to think that the, you know, controller players were cheating? You think aim assist was misconstrued as cheating? I'll be honest, I've made that mistake several times, especially in the beginning, before I became a controller player again myself. But yeah. I want to know where you sit on that as far as, you know.
Okay, so I came into this from a controller player standpoint, so everything I did in the build up to me learning about the cheats and everything I'd done before even making one single video, I was doing a comparison between built-in aim assist and what aimbot can do. I got to a point where there was a certain section of the certain cheat providers anyway. Let's use Engine Own as an example. First provider I tried and tested. There was a certain point on the smoothness and speed settings where that's where it sort of merged into it could be aim assist. The only difference was if I had it set up that way and say there was like a broken mechanic in the game, like enemy player, you down them and they sort of jolt. You've had that happen where they jolt before they hit the floor, right? My aim would stick to them with that. But with natural aim assist, if that happened, it didn't snap with them. It'd have a slow movement. That was it. So there was a difference, and it's very
It kind
hard
of
to
gives you a
explain to
push in the
someone.
right direction, and if you're quick enough to react with it, you can
Exactly,
follow a
yeah,
guy
yeah.
down. But between using the software and toying with the settings and then knowing what aim assist is, in its current state, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see a difference when it happens.
Aim assist is overpowered
Yeah.
in certain situations.
It's really
But
hard to
based
tell
on-
who's using an aimbot anymore, honestly, especially when
I don't think so. I think that there's still ways.
I'll be
to
honest,
tell.
when people come to me back in like not to throw Lethal Panda under the bus, but say when Lethal Panda came to me and asking me to set up Golden Gun for him so he could advertise his Cronus scripts as super good when it was really AC
Is that a
Diamond
video
he was
you've
using.
made now?
No, I could care fucking less. Anyways,
Okay.
I mean, if you're paying people for Cronus scripts, it's an idiot tax, and hey, man, I'm a big fan of capitalism.
It is. So what
But,
you're telling me, right?
The
That's the
people
first
use
time
aimbot
I
and
am
wall
ever
hacks
hearing
and
this.
unlock tools to advertise products that aren't. Yeah.
Lethal Panda used actual
He's
aimbot
not the only one.
to advertise Cronus scripts.
Not the only
Wow.
one. But anyways,
Wow.
I would never, and if you ask me now, like the settings, the smoothness, acceleration that I would say use this, literally the aim assist within the game now is just a hillbilly cunt hair stronger than the aim assist I would have set him up with on Warzone 1. And I mean, that's the hard truth. It's like, if you're using I mean...
Here's my trail of thoughts behind aim assist, right? Truth behind it is this. I feel like since there was no anti-cheat in Verdansk, ever since that point in time where everyone realised, shit, this game's riddled with cheaters, right?
Yeah.
Ever since we started calling out the bullshittery that was going on, people in the protected brackets, I feel like Activision and Raven Software and Sledgehammer Games and all of these, game developers, right? They've done what they can to blur them lines, right?
Yeah,
they blurred the lines
right
to the
my
point.
fucking mouth.
Yeah, they've done that to the point where combat scouts, fucking snapshot grenades.
Here's one, DS4. You can use DS4 to get an advantage. You could use DS4 to do something I would consider cheating.
That's external. That's external. I'm talking internal. The things built into the game, the things that have happened.
I've had to come to the conclusion of what is cheating, because that's a big question. I mean, a lot of people have a different opinion on what cheating is. I mean,
VPN is cheating.
Well,
do not use code HAPA10 at checkout. Is it HAPA10 or HAPA20?
No, it's just HAPA. Just a real simple branding. You know what I mean? Simple guy.
Link in the description below.
But no, like, what is cheating? Because a lot of people, you're old enough to remember when people had back paddles and that was kind of frowned upon.
Stop pointing fingers at me about my age, Happer. Listen,
well, I'm old too, but I'm just saying.
Cheeky bastard, look.
I'm just saying.
I'm young, man. I'm young. It's just the beard makes me look old. Listen, but I remember. Like,
I mean, what is, and at the end of the day, it's up to the devs to protect him. We can sit here and talk about the reason that they don't ban for this, or this isn't, going to get you banned, or using a VPN. Like, honestly, if they wanted to stop it, they could. It's really fucking simple on their end. But, that's a whole other conversation of why they're allowing this to go on. I mean, honestly, if I had a product to advertise, I'm not going to tell you about the bad parts about it. I'm going to show you, I'm going to cast it in the best light I can. And yeah, it looks a lot better when you go watch a streamer drop 30 or 40 kills.
The easiest fix for cheating in video games is this, and it's not one that many people will like, but a lot of people will agree with. If you're on controller, you should be on console, and console should only be playing against console. If you're on keyboard and mouse, you should be on PC, playing against PC. No aim assist on PC with keyboard and mouse only. Strip this whole crossplay shit with PC and console. It's not fair anyway. PC can have up to like 300 FPS with however many hertz on the monitor. Everything.
Microsoft did the test way back in the day where they took 80-something people and put half on controller, half on keyboard and mouse. And the only thing they were able to determine was these two inputs would never be competitively viable. But what they didn't tell you is they wouldn't be profitable if they allowed these two inputs to play with each other.
Well,
and at the end of the day, you and I both know what drives, the decisions there. And it's, it's the, what are you smoking, crack? Uh-oh, you're here 100% exposed for smoking crack.
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
Oh my
God. I your dick, man.
Please, God, clip it. Clip it. Oh my goodness.
Don't be clipping that. Listen, I'll shoot you to the high heavens, Happy. Your lawyers,
I'll be honest. Before I took but my point is like, at the end of the day, it's got to be on the devs to decide what cheating is, and if they're not banning for something, I can't really fault somebody that's, because that's how normalization works. If I mean, there's so much shit
about what is and isn't, though,
there's so much shit like in the Apex community that if you did in the COD community, you'd be get that cheating motherfucker out of here. Like here, for instance, if I like back before configs became a thing in Apex, keyboard and mouse players had the distinct advantage in movement because they can tap strafe and do a bunch of other cool wall bounce shit real easy, a lot easier and stuff like that. But controller aim assist was fucking aimbot. And then, but you moved like a fucking tortoise, But then through Steam input or, whatever, you go in and play the game through Steam, you go into input, you can configure a controller to get mouse and keyboard inputs and do tap strafing while getting aim assist as well. So you can get the best of both worlds. Eventually somebody reached out to the devs, and the devs said, when it comes to input emulation, we do not ban and never will ban for configs. So guess what started happening? Keyboard and mouse players started going and getting rewas and emulating, they would group their keyboard and mouse together and make it look like a controller, and they'd maintain the movements of the keyboard and mouse aspects, and they'd get aim assist while not having to plug in a controller. And then you hear people go, well, that's cheating. And it's like, well, how, if the devs have told you that it's not cheating the other way around, then how is this cheating? You go to the COD community right now and you use rewas, you're not going to get banned for it, but a lot of people are going to call you a cheater for doing it.
With Apex, what I've seen is, though, if somebody does get accused of cheating, it's always by another large streamer. Like they don't give a shit.
If you've been paying attention, but the pro scene's crumbling. There's a couple Discords leaked with showing that like 80-90% of the pros are either getting boosted by cheaters or are cheaters. Yeah. That's what I'm like. That's the new meta. Play with a cheater. You know what I mean?
It's not even play with a cheater.
Well, just like this, like qualifying for the World Series of Warzone, right? You're a trio, right?
Yeah.
None of these trios during qualifying actually play with each other. They go out and they find two cheaters that'll boost your stats up. You know what I mean? And who gives a fuck about them? They're not the ones getting invited, so their accounts aren't going to be scanned. Because that's how the rules are. And the rules should be like, if you're qualified, if this is your team, this is how you qualify. You play together, your scores count. But they use strategy to maximize that player's score by having them being fed kills and information by two people. Not everybody's doing it, but I can tell you there are quite a few that did. And I'm sorry, but they went to LAN and did some stupid shit like fucking spent all the goddamn time in the river or dropped 3 kills.
The build up to the World Series of Warzone, I think it was the Caldera one, and it was the qualifiers, and Magnificent was literally like getting fed kills by people and stuff like that. They were using VPNs and whatever. Like they just when it comes to like competitive integrity, there's none left in Call of Duty.
I PC checked a guy a couple months before the first World Series of Warzone. A guy named Tuck Dog who ended up qualifying for the World Series of Warzone again. Laid a fucking egg. Because he's, he's naturally, just playing VPN lobbies and shit like that.
Yeah.
I play VPN lobbies. It's much more casual, much more enjoyable as somebody that's streaming trying to pay into that. Whatever. I can go back to that real easy. I got some keys like now I'm just playing. But, like for me, but I'm not out there trying to fucking, practice to play in World Series of Warzone. You see what happens when, people take that approach. They go to LAN and drop 3 kills.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, like, there's only so far it can take you, unless you're willing to do, an optic Forsaken and try and sneak them in and plug your USB drive in. Like, it ain't gonna work.
I mean, yeah,
you get to a certain point and you just expose yourself. Like Nadia cheating through the roof while she's at home with like a 6 or 7 KD on Call of Duty on playing Rebirth and stuff.
Going to LAN and running into fucking
0.27.
Fake doors and shit.
It wasn't even that she come up against absolutely amazing players.
That's not a Sweater Revelations. That's a
she
fucking
was shooting
90.
people who were standing still and missing their fucking shots, mate. She was just terrible. And listen, you mentioned early on about how, you give a great player cheats, you can't tell the difference. The difference, there's a couple of people I will say now, Destroy. I think he's a great player, but I think he cheats as well. And I think that there's a couple of others out there. Diaz Biffle, another one, great player, but he cheats as well. But Zelena, right? If you watch the difference between anything he's ever done on LAN, and I'm not talking about like, he's up against good players, so he's going to camp in the back of a van or he's going to sit in this hut. I'm talking about his gun game, his level of aim assist that he gets on his own account.
Last time I watched him play was like a month before the new Warzone come out. And I was like, well, this is nothing like what I used to watch when I'd tune into his streams. It was very just kind of lackadaisical, if you will. It was kind of like
There's so much difference. Like, I mean, listen, like he got signed to Optic Gaming, and I think maybe they've sat down and said, listen, got to stop running them cheats now. You sign with us, so you know we've got to keep up the integrity of Optic Gaming. So make sure you don't use them cheats anymore. And yeah, maybe they just provided them with a little crony or something.
What do you say? What do you say for people that say that there are a lot of pros that aren't cheating, but they're gatekeeping methods that they're improving their gameplay? Like when I talk about things like certain things going on within DS4 and stuff like that, that I think a lot of people are using.
So yeah, we can touch on this, but this is gonna have to be the last thing we speak about. The first thing that comes to mind with me with that is this Mutex, right? Now, I'm not even going to... We know he had Cronus Pro on his desktop. I genuinely...
he better watch out. We got a 16 stack ready to stream snipe his bitch ass.
But when it came to DS4 Windows, he was using it, and there was a clip of him where he went into DS4 Windows to show somebody something, but on stream quickly deleted a file out of it, and then started talking about the file that was left there. But you could see the panic in his face. And after that moment, right, I start getting sent clip after clip after clip from different people about different streamers, and on their DS4 Windows, when they went onto the file section, there was they had files saying Mutex script, right? Mutex script. So multiple different streamers were using settings called Mutex script, and this is around the first time I'd heard about DS4 Windows. So I've started researching it, understanding its inputs, what its capabilities are, and then understanding the Mutex's scripts are probably anti-recoil, whatever else is involved, right? And one of the people who I got sent a clip of who was using Mutex's script on DS4 Windows was It's Millsy, the guy that started me hacker hunting. And I was like, do you know what? If he's using that, it's got to have an advantage, because he just doesn't do anything like that, like unless it's giving him an upper hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the main purpose of, in my opinion, this is why I want to get a PlayStation controller, and I think this is consistent why a lot of people with super good aim on this game play on a PlayStation controller, because when you get the controller, you got built-in anti-dead zone, which equates to like 0.08 or whatever. Even if you got the dead zone of the game all the way to 0, there's still a dead zone. And a lot of people, myself included, have the tendency to, when I'm on my controller, do this number to, manipulate aim assist as I'm shooting.
You controller green? I can't see it.
It's gray.
Oh.
But I do this number, this back and forth number, to get the aim assist, spamming it. When in reality, I'm losing aim assist every time I cross that dead zone. Right? I'm losing an aim assist. But if I could actually go in there and emulate this controller into a virtual setting and make that number 0, that meaning it's always actuated, I can do that and it'll be the same. Or I can just stand still and I probably get rotational aim assist. Whereas, here's how you can tell if it's a controller goat. Somebody that I love watching on with the like caps lock doing is he does the little teeny circles so he never has to hit that dead zone, which is just a pro gamer move, Which he wouldn't have to do that if he ran through DS4, but I mean.
No, the point is that I feel like a lot of them guys were using the DS4 situation and scripts on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, I could add some stuff to DS4 that I pretty much would consider cheating. I could give you some stuff to go along with those anti-dead zones. I can make it pull your gun down a little bit.
And it was when Rara made this video, and the video originally was titled "Every streamer in this thumbnail is using these cheats," and it had a thumbnail with everyone on it. It had Joe, Z-Lane, Destroy, Mutex, Swag, all of them were on it. And it went viral for a little while, right? It did. It hit, I think it hit 100k in the first day, and then he changed the title and changed the thumbnail because people like Modern Warzone were saying, yo, it looks like you're accusing these guys of cheating, and the fanboy that he is, thought, I need to change that. Maybe I'll get a shot at being in with them all. The thing is, he would sell his left nut for a quick buck. So, unfortunately, no one wants to associate with him. But the thing is, if Rara talked about that, how long was he using them things for? And prior to that, how long ago did he find out about them? Who off and how? So I do think there's a lot of things going on. And again, like for example, if you found a way to make your gameplay a lot easier, you're not going to make a video and tell the whole world, are you? Why? Because then everyone else would have that same advantage.
They'd be like, this fucker doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a hacker hunter.
Nah, it's not just that. But like, for example, if you're pumping out gameplay, right, and 30 bombs are the new thing, but you can get 40 bombs with this new thing you've got, then that gives you the edge on every other content creator, therefore making you more money through ad revenue. And I think a lot of these guys will use anything possible to their advantage. It's the same with VPNs.
Especially when that's all they got is a high kill gameplay. They don't really have any personality or anything else behind it, you know what I mean?
So I genuinely think that there's like...
I mean, for me personally, I'll get more views making fun of somebody's 40 bomb than I will actually dropping a 40 bomb, so... It is what it is,
you should I think I've got gameplay footage on my channel. You should break that down and rip the shit out of me.
Oh, you know what I should do? You know what I should do? I should literally do a parody video of you.
Oh God, what's he got?
I should literally do a parody video of you, and then be like, with your gameplay, and be like, "What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of All Streamers Cheetahs, we have the real bad boy Beeman, 100% exposed." Let's crack on with the video. I even found your fucking.
Have you bought them specifically to take the piss out of me?
Yes, Plum Smuggler bought these for me. They're nice. They're nice. But yeah, I even found your song on Epidemic Sound where your first intro. You know that fucking rock song you used to use? Yeah, I found that.
I used to love that song when everyone told me off on it. Get rid of the heavy metal song, get rid of the rock music. I was like, listen. I absolutely love that type of music.
I think it was
like you're feeling much more good. What's up, Triple B said Nutso. Listen, happen, mate. I'm sorry to be short and sweet, but I'm gonna have to shoot, man.
Yeah. My medicine's wearing off anyways. Hopefully I'll get well. I haven't felt like gaming in the last 3 or 4 days.
Didn't I just see you hit your medicine pipe a couple of seconds ago?
No, not that. The other medicine, the medicine that apparently, my government doesn't force everybody to get vaccinated. Anyways, moving on. It was nice having you on, though, brother. I appreciate you.
I
Anytime, man. You always got a spot here. It was fun. Nice catching up with you.
I'll come back on again soon.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Well, mate, I'll catch you in a bit.
Appreciate the info, and thank you very much.
Peace.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was interesting and fun, and I don't know how I full screen myself. There we go. Anyways, I appreciate everybody tuning out. I am probably going to get off here and take some more medicine and maybe a cold shower because I can feel my fever's coming back up. But you know what they say, man. Got to give the people what they want. Nobody gives a fuck what you feel like. So, appreciate everybody turning out. Especially Beeman coming on. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, homie. Xenia, Chai Chiz with the 8 months. Xenia with the 3 months. Dakota, welcome to the Alpha Squad. Shark Norse with the 5 gifted, baby. Got an ET 50 with the sub. Welcome. Merc Monster with the 20. And Sharky with the 1256. Late Merry Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Sharky. Yeah, I've been under the weather, so as soon as I start feeling better, guys, I'll get back to gaming. I'll get back to streaming more consistently and stuff like that. I got a bunch of videos that I recorded as I started to feel sick. So the first thing I did is like I need to start recording before my voice gives out. And I got like one more video, well, actually 2 more videos to put together and release probably tomorrow or the next day. So be on the lookout for those. And with that, I think we covered everything. It's been fun. Catch you guys on the next one. Mahalo.